I am God. I want to talk about robots and child sex slavery. So, when I was a little boy, I used to watch a lot of films. I used to watch films for children. For instance, there was a film I used to watch called Short Circuit 2. It was one of my favorite films when I was a kid. But when I was 5 years old, that's when I saw Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I saw that when I was in the United States of America on holiday. Um, I saw that film I saw all kinds of. I used to have a horror film collection. Um, when I was 5, 6, 7, from that age. That's how old I was when I started having a collection of horror films and action films. I had all kinds of Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Yeah. My mom, she would pretty much let me have anything. I could watch anything I wanted pretty much as long as it didn't have any very sexual scenes in it. Then I would be, I would get away with having it. Um, if it was a horror film, like I used to have Halloween 1 and 2 on video, and um, where Michael Myers, he goes around stabbing people to death. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch that when I was a little boy by myself. First time I remember the first time I watched it, I was in my mom's bedroom when I was a little kid. She'd gone away somewhere, and um, sorry, she'd gone away somewhere, and I was sleeping in her bed while she was away, and I was watching the film on her TV. I was watching TV at night, late at night, and Halloween 1 came on, and I watched it, and I was terrified, obviously. Gave me a few nightmares. But then, later on, that's the thing, I liked the Alien films when I was a kid. I was probably about 5 years old when I watched Aliens, the second film. I mean, I was born in 1987, so um, yeah. I mean, there was a time when I think it was my seventh birthday or eighth birthday. There were three boys from my school called Homefield. I went to a school called Homefield. Yeah, strangely enough. And that's the thing, they came to my house, my mom's house, who's called Fee. Yeah, Home Fee. Yeah, and I'm L. I'm God. Could it get any stranger? Anyway, and my mum, she was in the bedroom next door with her girlfriend, Jen, and I'd be like, "Oh, Jen's her sister," you know what Genesis is, right? Yeah, you've heard of the book Genesis, yeah, yeah. You know what Genesis is? Anyways, because I showed Halloween to these boys on my birthday, um, uh, they got really upset. They were terrified. They told their mum and their dad, and all the kids at school, all the parents were told, like, they were told they couldn't come to my house because I'd show them scary movies and stuff like that. So my mum took away my video collection for, I don't know, 6 months or something, a year. Well, probably not even that, probably a couple of months. And then I got it back. I was punished for showing other little kids horror films when the thing is my mom was allowing me to watch all that stuff, and that's because she's a demon. You see, all these films, they're sorcery against me. I'm God. um I've got it on screen record here, okay, so I'm just using this camera app so you can see me. um but I need to explain the connection between all these things. Now, when I say a movie is sorcery, well, that's the thing. Yeah, you probably don't understand what that is. I've explained it so many times that it's annoying to have to keep explaining it, but I keep explaining it. Um, so when I was a little boy, probably when I was about 5 years old, I was watching that film Short Circuit 2. And what's the name of the robot? Oh, he's called Johnny Five. Yeah, Johnny Five. And what's the connection between there's Terminator, and that's the thing. I was 5 years old. Okay, so in a sense, I am Johnny Five. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Well, what the fuck is that about? Judgment Day? Well, I'm God. I'm the one who's supposed to judge the world. Why would they make a film called Terminator 2 Judgment Day? Where people want to stop Skynet, yeah, from the robot AI Skynet. You see, the world is trying to say that I'm the robot. That's what it is. And it's trying to do sorcery to try to block me from uh it's about trying to steal my power. It's trying to prevent me from judging the world and condemning the world, basically. That's what it's about. It's demons trying to fight me. That's what it is. So now, what can I say about? So the interesting thing is, Linda Hamilton. She was in Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and obviously she had a son called John Connor, and he's supposed to be the leader, yeah, of the resistance against the Terminators and stuff like that. I mean, look, who terminates the Terminator? You have Terminator 1, so that's Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He's in the first film. He's the first Terminator. Then there's the second Terminator film, and there's the next guy, and he's called Robert Patrick. Well, that's the name of the actor who plays um, the T-1000, and um, he's considered the evil robot. He's trying to kill John Connor. Um, it's an interesting name, isn't it? Robber. Well, what's a robber? Yeah, if you're a thief, you're a robber. Yeah, and what does Patrick mean? Patrick. It's the thing is, well, years and years and years ago, there was a guy I used to be consider my best friend a long time ago. His name's Patrick. Yeah, he's a very evil piece of shit, and he's a part of all this. He was Paul from the New Testament. That's who he was. He's a demon. Um, I mean, I know I sound totally crazy trying to explain all this. That's because it's so complicated, and I'm just pulling facts out of a hat here and throwing them at you, um, hoping that you'll listen. The thing is, I'm God. I used to be a network engineer. I understand complex concepts. I had to learn complex concepts, and I've been learning how all this magic stuff works over the last 4 or 5 years because I've had to, because I know who I am, and I know that all the sorcery that people do in the world is against me, and I have to fight back against it. But the thing is that so I wanted to explain that the connection between robots and child sex slavery. Well, why would so the world wants to paint me as a robot? Yeah, so when I watched that film Short Circuit 2, Johnny Five. Well, the thing is, I was probably 5 years old when I watched that film. Um, so basically, they're saying that the robot Johnny is me, and they've renamed me to Johnny. Basically, just trying to tell the world, pretend the sorcerers, the demons, are trying to pretend that my name's Johnny and I'm a fucking robot. Yeah. Um. Now to connect. So Linda Hamilton, she was in Terminator 2. She was the mother of John Connor. And when I was a kid, I always used to watch that film, and the way that Sarah Connor, the way she speaks in the film, um, is very like my mum. she sounds very like my mum. The way she talks, the way she's angry, the way she shouts, her temper, her mood. She totally reminded me of my mum. And now remember that John Connor, well, the initials of John Connor are JC. That's the same initials you would give to Jesus Christ. Normally when you hear someone say JC, you think Jesus Christ, don't you? You don't think John Connor, do you? Or Jeremy Clarkson, yeah? So, the reason they do all this sorcery is to trap me. Because they're demons. The people who are behind Hollywood and the music industry and the Freemasons. Do you think these are God-worshipping people? No, they're not. They're God-hating people. They want to steal my power. And I'm fucking sick of it. I'm really fucking tired of it. And all the bad shit that's happening in the world is because of me. Because I want to destroy all these people. Bit by bit, one day after another, it's destruction. That's all that's going to happen. Now, I need to explain. So, obviously, a robot, yeah, the word robot is spelled R-O-B-O-T, yeah? Rob, yeah, so, if I robbed the children, if I robbed a child, yeah, for instance, well, you know what that is, right? But, oh, it's a robot. What's a robot then? Yeah, a robot. So Lyndall Hamilton, she was in another film, wasn't she? She was in the film called Children of the Corn. And I've explained all the connections between corn and maize. And, have a look at a picture of a corn on the cob. It looks like a big yellow cock, doesn't it? Yeah, it's all about sodomy. It's all about Mary. And Mary is a child murderer. She's a child sex predator. Okay? The only reason, when I was Jesus and I came to this world and I was born through the Virgin Mary's body, the reason the fact is she's a demon. She's a very evil demon. The reason, and the thing is, my mom Fiona, who's dead now, yeah, she was an evil demon as well. But the reason why I get close, that's the thing. That expression, keep your friends close and keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Well, this is the thing. Demons love to get close to me because of my power. You see, this is the thing. I come to the world, a world that hates me and wants to murder me, and I go to my worst enemy and be like, okay, well, I'll pull up out of your body then. Yeah? I'll come out of your body, and we'll see how it goes here. Basically. Because, that's the thing. They love the power. It's the power they want. And if I come out of a demon's womb, they're happy about that. They're like, oh, we can get, this is an opportunity to get as much of God's power as we possibly can. Oh, this is a good deal. Yeah? Because of magic power, sorcery. I mean, this is the thing, right? What is sorcery? Right? Well, this is the thing. People want to say that Mary is the mother of God. Well, that's the thing. Well, so if Mary's the source, mother, Mary, yeah, the source, sorcery. Well, who's the source then? Yeah, what's all this magic power? Who were the Magi? The Magi, the three wise men, they went to see Jesus when he was born in the manger. Yeah. Hang on. I'm the Magi. Yeah, I'm the one who plopped out of Mary. I'm the Magi. I am the source of all power, magic, sorcery. Yeah, it's me. You said the world wants to twist it and say, oh no, it's Mary. It's Mary who's the creator. No, it's not. I'm the creator. I created Mary. Now, she's a very evil sex predator. And, I've made a lot of videos talking about all kinds of things here. And I've talked about many, many things. If you haven't watched my videos, well, it's your fault. Okay? So, I make videos that are an hour long, 2 hours long. You've got about 2 seconds. You give me about 2 seconds of your attention probably, and then you're like, fuck, I don't care. That's because you're a demon. You're dead already. So, I just want to make this video for the record, really, just to, really explain this well. So, sorry, I'm rolling a cigarette here. So the Children of the Corn, okay, I've explained in previous videos and I've explained already what that's about. Linda Hamilton was in the film Children of the Corn. And the Children of the Corn, okay, so that's a film, it's a town, they have lots of cornfields, and there are these kids, and the kids start a cult, basically, and there's like a child cult, and the children kill the adults. Okay, children kill the adults. See, if I wrote that, children kill the adults, what's really being said? Is it the children are killing the adults, or is it the adults that are killing the children? I mean, you've seen the film Star Wars. Yeah, Yoda, the little green guy, the little green alien. Yeah, how does he talk? Yeah, remember how he talks backwards. He rearranges the words. Yeah. You know how that works. You're not stupid. You know what that fucking means. So when I say the children killed the adults, is it the adults who killed the children, or is it the children who killed the adults? You see, this is how sorcery is done. It's by playing around with words. It's playing around with stories. That's the thing. Stephen King wrote Children of the Corn, which was a short story. Now, what's a short thing? Well, that's right. Little children, they're short, aren't they? They're short. So this is the thing about Short Circuit 2. Now, let me have a look at this. So I'll go to my internet browser. Okay, Short Circuit 2, Johnny 5. Now, what's a Johnny? Well, Johnny's a condom, isn't it? Yeah. Now, what's a pedophile ring? Okay, so, you could call it a pedophile ring, you could call it Short Circuit. Because a circuit's a ring, isn't it? And children are short. Yeah? And two is a way of two is a way of saying anus. It's a way of it's a way of saying sodomy without saying sodomy. It's code word for sodomy. It's code word for shit. And you see, this is why the demons, they wanted to paint me as a robot. They wanted to say that I'm the robot. Because what is a robot? A robot doesn't have feelings, or is not supposed to have feelings, people don't care about robots. They don't think, oh wow, you have feelings. They don't. They say, well, you're just a robot. That's what you are. You're a robot. We don't care about your feelings. You don't have any. This is why they wanted to paint me as a robot. I mean, the other thing is, oh shit, hang on. Let me just get my notes. Oh, flipping heck. Here's another thing. This is another. I'll come back to that in a second. Wait, hang on. What the fuck is? Okay, just forget that. Okay, I'll talk about that later. I didn't want to show all my other notes, but so Short Circuit 2. Okay, so short. Okay, hang on. Let me just sort this out a bit. Oh, flipping heck. Right, okay, let me just turn that, and there we go. Okay, so the film, Short Circuit 2. Now, obviously a short circuit is something that happens with electrical equipment, right? If a computer has a short, it will stop working. Yeah. Excuse me. So this is a way of saying pedophile ring. And the reason the world wants to paint me, the demons want to say that I'm the robot. Because look, the word rob is in robot, okay? And they're the ones being the thieves. They're the ones who are kidnapping children. Okay? But a robot doesn't have, has no emotion. Okay? And it's all connected with artificial intelligence. taking over the world. This is their plan. You see, they're doing magic. They're using magic words. This is all related to the Tower of Babel. Tower of Babel, depending how you pronounce it. So, I mean, the thing is, Linda Hamilton. So there's the film Children of the Corn, which I've spoken about already. So, Children of hang on, Children of the Corn, Children of the Corn. Okay, so, this is the cover of the film. Okay, so you got Peter Horton and Linda Hamilton. Okay, and the idea about it is, you see, this is sorcery, and it's trying to hide the fact that children are being sex trafficked and murdered. You see, the reason they do that, they like to sex traffic children and then kill them afterwards, because obviously if they left them alive, well, that's, well, they don't, I suppose they have the reasons they have for that. Well, they don't want anyone to find out what they're doing. I mean, it sounds horrifying, doesn't it? I mean, it is so, it should horrify you. You should think to yourself, like, wow, what a godless world this is. Well, I'm God, and I'm telling you who I am, but, this is why people need me. This is why you need me. Because this is the monster of a world that you live in. You live in a world that worships Mary, and she's a child sex predator. I mean, if you don't believe me, I mean, look, there's the film, I, Robot, which is, it's not, it's a fairly new film, right? Isn't it? So I, Robot. There's a character called Dr. Calvin. Yeah, so I, Robot, Dr. Calvin, okay? Yeah, it says it right here. You see it says there? I, Robot, Susan Calvin. Now, the thing about that is, well, my name is Grant Salvin. My mum's name was Fiona Suzanne Salvin. Okay? I mean, the film, I, Robot, there's the main computer system. There's the main computer that controls the city, basically, and she's called Vicky. I don't know if it's with, I don't know exactly how it's spelled, but the name is pronounced Vicky. Well, who's Johnny 5? Yeah? How do that's the Roman numeral for 5. V. What's a Johnny? A Johnny is a condor. This is all code speak for pedophilia. There's the film, yeah, so RoboCop, 2. That was one of my favorite films when I was a little boy. You know what? So RoboCop, the main character, he's called Murphy. Okay, so Fee is the name of my mom. Okay, that's what she was always called by people. That was her. That's what she liked to be called, Fee. Okay, so the thing is, I am Murphy. Mer, M-E-R, that means sea. Now you see what this is, right? Fee, sea. Well, that's the thing, right? Because when I was a little boy, my mom, Fee, would see me, and I would see her. Yeah? Like, she would see me with her eyeballs, I would see her with my eyeballs, right? And then obviously, you know what Fee sees is, right? Or there's the word seize, which means to take something, right? Steal. If you wanted to seize something, if you wanted to steal something, you'd seize it, wouldn't you? See, mer means sea, as in, well, S-E-A. And obviously, so it's like Murphy is like saying, um, it's like saying see fee. And obviously, you should know what this is, feces. This is all connected, this is all magic to do with, the whole or holy, right? Because obviously shit comes out of a hole. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Yeah, so I mean, that's the thing. Shit is, the earth is soil. Soil is shit. There's obviously a very strong connection between soil and shit. Yeah, you know what, holy land is? Yeah, holy land, well, that is soil, isn't it? So, this is all magic. It's all really complicated, and I'll be honest with you, I'm still figuring all this stuff out. I'm still trying to figure out how all this connects, and because it's extremely complicated. Um, so let me just put a line around this because I know this gets really complicated really quickly, but you see, the world wants to think that I am the robot. Um, I mean, look, the film I, Robot, the main character in I, Robot is called Sunny. Yeah? Why do you think he's called Sunny? Well, look, yeah, I'll show you something, okay? So AI is 19, okay? 19, because A is 1 and I is 9. Okay, so if I show you the Sun card, so the Sun card in Tarot, that's the Sun card, okay? And that is number 19. 19 is code, well, this is the thing, AI is 19. See, the world, the demons, are trying to replace the sun with artificial intelligence. They're trying to use our artificial intelligence in order to steal power from me, God. Now the thing is that, well, this is the thing. In a sense, you could say I am the robot, and in another sense, you could say, well, I'm not the robot. I guess both of it. This is the thing. The world is trying to not me. Yeah, it's trying to bind me with magic. Um, so, what more can I say about this? Um, hmm. I mean, that's the thing as well, right? Because with computers, remember what I was saying about children of the corn, right? So you got children of the corn, okay? And so, if you use a Linux based operating system, then the center of that operating system, you have something which is called a kernel. Kernel. And obviously with corn, that word applies as well. Kernel. Kernel is a word that's used with, you have corn, kernel, or corn kernels. Now, the reason I explain all this is, the thing is that Freemasons, they know all this stuff, right? They understand these types of things. The things that I'm trying to explain to you, they have a good understanding about all this word magic and puzzles, and that's how that's where they try to get their power from. They use this, they use this to their advantage. While they look down at you and think, they look at the world, you, and they think you are an idiot to be manipulated. Because you wouldn't believe this stuff in a million years, would you? You would just say, nah, and just go back to watching Netflix and worshipping your favorite idols. Because you're a useless sack of shit, basically. Blind, deaf, and dumb. I wish I could say otherwise. I really do. I mean, the other thing about, because obviously, the Terminator, right? So, the Terminator. Oop. Yeah, the Terminator. Yeah? When's the second coming going to be? Yeah? When's the second coming going to be? Oh. Wait, hang on, that's not how you spell it, is it? Judgment Day. Yeah, so when Jesus returns, the second coming, it'll be Judgment Day. Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Isn't that how it's supposed to be? I explain all this anal sex, Sodom magic that's used. Well, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know if that's spelled properly, but I think it is. Um, he's Austrian or German, right? You could say he's a German. Yeah? I mean, what's a germ and what's an anus? Yeah? Because obviously he's a German. Us, he is German. Or he speaks German. He's come from a German speaking country. Austria was a part of Germany. It wasn't always, but it has been. This is a giant puzzle I'm explaining to you. Perhaps you don't care. Well, you're dead. Um, if you do care, well, I'm glad. I'm happy. You should care. There's a film by Alfred Hitchcock. It's called Marnie. I posted it on Facebook. Okay, it's an old film by Alfred Hitchcock. Now you notice that in Marnie, so you have obviously the name Arnie. That's the name of Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? When someone says Arnie, you know who you're talking about. You're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. But because of Sodom magic, you see, that looks like a butt. You see, an M looks like a butt. Yeah, So what this is it's magic. It's a way of doing magic, and obviously the name Mary is in Marnie. I mean, obviously IE can be pronounced like a Y, or you could have an I there instead, right? Or you could just put like that, right? Marie. Yeah, that's a name, isn't it? Um, and and also it's another way of saying, well, this is the thing, right? So it's got the word Mary in there, and it's got the word knee in there as well, right? Knee. See, a knee can be to do with sex, or it can be done. It could be talking about worshiping. So it includes both those ideas, right? Um, so I mean, this is the thing. When I've lived a life uh, surrounded by computers and technology. I used to work in information technology. Um, maybe you've seen the films. It's called It, and it's about the alien. Yeah, so the 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 child killing clown alien. Yeah, the child killing clown alien. Yeah, It. Yeah, and obviously IT is short for information technology. You should know this. And the other thing is that obviously people expect the second coming of Jesus. Yeah, so the second coming, yeah, Jesus on a cloud. Yeah, information technology cloud. Yeah, look, cloud. Cloud computing. Cloud computing. It's magic. The demons are trying to trap me. Second coming is a way of saying sodomy, because the second is the but, and coming means for a man to come. That's associated with this XXX. Yeah, there's a lot of that on the internet, isn't there? There's a lot of that. Yeah, yeah. You've seen the film Triple X, yeah, starring Vin Diesel. Yeah, Vin Diesel. Yeah. What's my name again? Oh, it's Grant Sal Vin. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What else can we talk about here? Oh, what's that? Da Vin Key. Da Vinci. Oh yeah, you know the Da Vinci Code? Yeah, you've heard of that. Yeah, and the sequel, what was it called? Angels and Demons? Yeah, yeah. What's his name? Tom Hanks? Yeah, thanks, Tom Hanks. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I say thanks quite a lot, actually. I don't know. I'm quite a polite person usually. Yeah, thanks, Tom Hanks. Um, so that's the thing. I am father. Da is a way of saying father. But also, David, right? Da, vid. Well, technically, I'm making a video for you right now. Does that make me David? See, this is the thing, right? Because, Jesus was called the Word, or, well, the Gospel of John, it says, the Word was with God, and God was the Word, or God is the Word, right? So, basically that's what John was saying. And, obviously I'm explaining to you all of this. It's very interesting, though, isn't it, that people will read the Gospel of John and be like, oh, so God's the Word. But if I'm here and I'm God and I'm telling you, yeah, I'm television, I'm the news, I'm movies, I'm music, you turn your nose up at that and you say, I don't believe that. But that's the truth. I'm art. I am. All art is designed to steal power from me. That's what it is. Art is designed to steal power from me. All the stuff you get from Hollywood, it's all sorcery aimed at trying to replace God, and that I am God. And this is why I'm the one explaining this all to you. I was looking for the truth, and this is what I stumbled upon. I found all this information because I figured out who I am, and I figured out how all this stuff in the world is affecting me and how I'm connected with it all. um, See, the thing is that Mary is a child killer. She is obsessed with child sex. That's what floats her boat. That's what she's interested in. And I would say the same thing about my dead mum, right? So Fiona, that's what she's about. And the problem is that the world is worshipping. The world follows Fiona and Mary instead of God. So basically the entire world, basically, almost the entire world is following after child killers and child sex enslavers who want you to think I'm a robot. They want you to think that I don't exist, that I'm just, they want to do all this sorcery, and the world loves it. The world's like, yeah, that's great. And that sorcery, it's attacking me, God. And the reason why the world is in so much trouble is because I'm here and I'm stopping it. I'm really bored of explaining. I'm actually at the point now where it's like, well, yeah, I said to myself today, I'm like, well, why do I keep making videos when no one listens and no one cares, no one believes me? What is the point? I don't need to make videos, really. I don't know if do I really need to? I don't think I need to. The fact is that I can accomplish this. I can destroy the world and never say a word. If nobody cares, then what's the point even telling you? So, yeah, so, looking at the I, Robot, yeah? Who was it who said, I am? That's Jesus Christ, the Son of God, right? So you got a film called I, Robot, yeah? And the main character is called Sunny. This explains everything I'm saying. I understand how all this connects. How many facts do I have to throw in your face before you listen to me? I've been trying a long time, hoping that someone would listen. So what else can I mention while I'm here? Hang on a second. Now, why would this is the thing. Why would what can I tell you? What would you want to know from me? I'm trying to think, figure out, what is it you need me to tell you? What is it you need me to say to you for you to understand? Or for what sort of question would be in your mind? I mean, the entire idea between the Terminator films, it's the machines coming from the future, yeah, and they go to the past in order to, um, try to kill Sarah Connor, um, John Connor, and the storyline is, um, Judgment Day is inevitable, yeah. And the entire point of the sorcery is to try to stop it. If you don't believe me, okay, so go. If you haven't seen, have you seen the film with Arnold Schwarzenegger? It's called The Last Action Hero. It's about a boy called Danny, and he gets a golden ticket. It's a magic golden ticket, and what happens is he watches. the film with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I think it's called Jack Slater, and he gets the ticket, the magic golden ticket, puts him into the film. See, I watched that when I was a little boy. Yeah, this is the connection. This is, the world reflects me, who I am. I'm God. It's the same thing, when, God is described as Elohim, which means it means gods, which is plural. The singular is El, which means God. But this is, you know, this is the thing, right? Because, for thousands of years, people invent different gods, or idols. Different gods and idols. It's the same with Hollywood, right? So Hollywood, these are idols. These are people who want to pretend that they're God. They want to pretend they're me. Now, the reason that, I am God, there is no other God besides me. And the thing is, all arts, right? So, that's the thing. If someone writes a story inventing gods, well, that's considered art. Yeah, it's art. It's literature. Yeah, and there's music. Yeah, all of that. Films. And even TV and the news as well. The entire world reflects me. Why does it reflect me? It's because I am God. It's my power. It's my power that people want. That's why they reflect me. They reflect me because that's how they try to steal my power. Yeah, this is how I know who I am. Oh, the other thing I was going to say about Terminator 2 is, well, at the end of that film, Sarah Connor, who is played by Linda Hamilton, she's in the film Children of the Corn. Yeah? Well, that's the thing. She is the one who lowers the Terminator, who's played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. She lowers him into the burning furnace. It looks like it's like a lake of fire. Yeah. So, in that sense, well, if you ask yourself the question again, who is the Terminator? Well, that's, the machine, you could say, well, he's the Terminator. That's who he's supposed to be. But at the end of the day, who terminated him? Well, it was Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton. I mean, she's in Children of the Corn, well, this is the thing. Ham is pork. And pork is it's another way of saying sex between a man and, well, it's a man doing sex, isn't it? pork. Yeah, Hamilton. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I don't care. Whatever. You're not the one who has to smell it. Fucking hell. Yeah, I'm really not. I'm very angry at the world. I mean, this is why people are going to die. This is why a lot of people in this world deserve to die, because I would say, 99%, probably more than that. I mean, I hate to think, but, I would say, it's probably more like 99.999% of the world's population deserves destruction. I think um, my only, the only thing I would change is, the only thing is, children. Children, for me, um, children, uh, I'm more lenient with, right? So I'm more lenient with children, obviously, because they're children, right? Obviously, I can say to myself, well, they're children. They do, they had evil parents. Their parents didn't teach them what was right. Yeah, they didn't teach them what is right and what's wrong, and they didn't tell their children about God. They didn't teach their children the truth. So obviously, I would be more lenient with children. But I look at a world. I don't know anybody that I trust. I see a world of evil. When I look at the world, I see Sodom and Egypt. That's what I see. When I look at the world, I see Sodom and Egypt. That's all I see. That is all I see. It's like the entire world has become Sodom and Egypt. See, the world is obsessed. I mean, and even people who don't, even people who don't participate in anal sex and BDSM, as an example, which a lot of people do, they support it, right? Most people support and worship Sodom and Egypt. Right? That's what they worship. That's what they support. That's what they believe in. That's the system they're a part of. They support child sex enslavers. I'm God. And, when I first learned this, when I first began to, hang on, get a picture here. So, when I first started learning, and when I first figured this out and realized just how evil the world is, I was horrified by it. But now, I've been talking about this for so long, I almost don't care anymore. I almost don't care. I really have very little patience. I basically have none. I'm so beyond patience. But this is the thing. I'm stuck I am stuck in a way, in a sense, because nobody wants to listen to me. Nobody wants to understand me. So it basically means that I'm stuck in a position where I get to watch the world get destroyed. That's all I get to, what I would prefer is that people actually listen to me, take what I say very seriously, seriously consider what I'm saying, so we can find some sort of solution to this problem. I mean, not talking about yeah? Resolution, yeah? Solution, that's Mary, isn't it? Yeah? That's the world. That's what the world wants. They want Mary as a solution. They don't want God as a solution. They want Mary as a solution, don't they? That's the problem. I just want people to love me, understand who I am. Because if they can't do that, then there's no hope for them. There's no hope for them. All the world wants to do is fight me. There's an article in the news. Let's have a quick look at the news then, shall we? So if I go to um, the Daily Mail, okay? What we got here? Um, hmm. There was an article. Oh, hang on. Oh yeah, this story. Yeah, what does it say? Beast of Birkenhead, Peter Sullivan has conviction quashed over new DNA evidence after spending 38 years in jail for murder of florist Diane Sindel in UK's longest miscarriage of justice. So, I mean, this is a reflection of me. Because, look, I am 37 years old. Okay? Peter Peter um, Sullivan. Well, this is the thing, people often misspell my name. My surname is Salvin. Sullivan is related to my surname. Peter is obviously, it's a biblical name, isn't it? And also it means penis. It's code for penis tear. It's about sodomy. So, that there I'm showing you, that is a reflection of my life. The world is trying to imprison me falsely. And how does it do it? Well, it creates all these bullshit stories. Right? It talks about all these bullshit stories trying to pretend I'm somebody else. I'm not him. That's not me. Right? This is me. I'm right here. Right? You can see me. The world reflects me. The world reflects me. I suppose my glasses also do a bit reflecting as well, don't they? Yeah. What do fucking do, huh? I've made I've posted nearly, I've got about 20,000 posts on Facebook trying to show how the world reflects me and how when I post stuff to Facebook, I'm I'm messing with the world, right? The world changes when I post stuff on Facebook. When I make videos like this, the world reacts. It changes. There's a battle. You see, me doing all of this, it's a battle. This is a battle between me and the world. And so when I post stuff, I can go look at the news. Or I can see what's being posted on YouTube. I can look all around the place and I can see how the world is fighting back against me. It's a constant fight that never seems to stop. But I don't lose. That's the thing. If the world doesn't stop trying to fight me, you'll all be dead. There'll be none of you left. Zilch. And we're not talking about a Catholic nun. Yeah? She's dead as well. She's a dead bitch. Okay? A bitch trying to pretend she doesn't exist. Well, I know she exists. She's dead. I mean, this is the thing, right? Why would a nun be called Nun? Hey, you've read the Bible, haven't you? You know who Joshua was? Yeah, Joshua, son of Nun. Yeah, son of Nun. Yeah, he was the son of, I suppose, a man called Nun. Nun. Well, Joshua is another way of saying Yeshua. Yeshua is another way of saying Jesus or Iesus. Yeah, it's all connected. When Jesus said, "If you've seen me, you've seen the Father." And people were like, "Well, what does he really mean?" That's the thing. Jesus was saying that he is the Father in a, it's using word. See, when I was Jesus, I was speaking it in a certain way, the way it had to be spoken, the way it needed to be written down, because the way the words are communicated, well, it was it's all magic. The power comes from the Word. I'm the Word. I'm God. Jesus was the Word. I am the Word. You see, the thing is that the entire world can hate, the entire world hates me, yet the entire world, it speaks of my glory, basically. That's the thing, because it all reflects me. Yeah, I look at the world, I look at all the demons who are trying to steal my power, and I can see my reflection in everything that they do. And so I know, this is the thing, Jesus said, what did Jesus say? Or did God say? God said, even the rocks will speak about me. The stones will speak. This is the thing. Like, what's dead is, the word is dead, but this is the thing. The word reflects me constantly. That's all it knows. That's all it does. Because it's all about trying to steal my power. Now, I know, look, this image, this is a reflected image. It's a mirror image. Because I'm using a screen recorder. But whatever, right? Whatever left. Blah, blah, blah. I'm so bored of explaining this shit. I really am. I mean, this is the thing, right? Because my mum's dead, right? And her name was Fee. Okay? And basically, she's a shit demon, is what she is, right? So, Fee sees. Well, this is the thing, right? So, obviously, she's dead now. So, maybe Fee saw, right? Because Saw is the past. Well, have you seen the films called Saw? Yeah, when people get locked in these puzzles, right? They're locked in traps. There's the one where someone is locked in a head device and they've got a certain amount of time to get there's a key behind their eyeball, and they have to cut their eyeball out in order to get the key out of the head, out of their, from what's behind their eye, um, in order to open the trap so that they don't die in the trap. Um, I mean, this is the thing, right? Because obviously, I have, um, it's probably not helpful that this is a mirrored image, but this is my right eye, and this is my left eye. Well, this is the thing. The world has abandoned me. The world has left-eyed me, right? And that's the other thing, because the anus in magic it's connected with, well, that's the thing. The anus is in magic is called an eye, and obviously, if I shit, it's what's left eye. And this is how people, and it's called feces. And this is how the world, it gets my the world is using witchcraft to try to see through my eye. Yeah, it wants to hear through my ear. It's using demons and magic to try and copy me. See, I'm right. I'm God. And that's the other thing, right? Because I wear glasses. People would say I'm a I'm four eyes, right? But obviously a number two is you go to the toilet and you take a shit. Let's go to number two, isn't it? If I go to the toilet and I do a number two, people call that a shit. Well, I've got two eyes, I've got two ears, I've got two nostrils. Yeah, I've got two nipples, I've got 2 feet, I've got two hands, I've got two knees. Yeah, I mean, it's all connected. Anyway, I feel like I've explained enough here. I've explained, the reason why the world wants to try to pretend that I'm a robot is because they're trying to use demonic witchcraft and technology to aim to accomplish what they want to do, which is to enslave children for uh, for sexual purposes and sacrifice, for doing witchcraft, magic rituals, sacrifice. Because that's the thing, because they're doing what they're doing what makes them happy. I mean, let me show you. Okay, so I'll go back to my internet browser. I'll go back to, yeah, so this is the Sun card in tarot. Okay, this is what's used by the Freemasons, use tarot. The Sun card, the main interpretation of that card is happiness. Yeah, look, here's the description of it. It says here, success, fun, joy, light, vitality, optimism, openness, good luck, enthusiasm, truth, happiness, pregnancy. So, obviously there's a lot of keywords that are associated with it, but obviously the number one is, this is to do with success and happiness. Yeah? Here's another one here. Happiness. Obviously people have all types of different keywords. Okay. And so, I'm God. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. The light of the world is the sun that's in the sky. I mean, obviously, people have artificial lights in their house. I've got a lamp. Yeah, a lamp over there. Yeah. But, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of lights, artificial lights in the world. Yeah. But, I mean, you could say that's a light of the world. Yeah. And it's called a lamp. Yeah. Very similar to lamb, isn't it? Yeah, and also, I could go to the supermarket and I could go buy some minced beef. Yeah, I'll go buy bull. Yeah, it's a minced bull. Yeah, yeah, buy bull. Yeah. Oh wow, Or I can, I could buy some, some shares in a company that has, stock shares, right? I could buy that, maybe I'm bullish about it or something, I'm buy bull. This is why people do the, what's a profit? Oh, I made a profit today. Oh, I must be a profit. No. You see, this is, or I eat some profiteroles. Oh, wow. You know what I mean? Like, it's the world wants to use all this stuff to steal power. I mean, think about it, how do you measure energy? Well, you measure in watts. W-A-T-T, right? A watt or watts. But what's water then? Jesus said, I am the fountain of living water. Yeah, water and watts and power and energy is all connected together, isn't it? So then you have electricity. And then what do you use electricity for? Well, you use it for powering computers and robots and shit. Yeah, artificial intelligence, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, artificial lights. Yeah, I'm the light of the world. You might not like that, but that's your problem. That's your death. You're dead. That's why you don't like it. I wish that you were alive. I wish you would be happy. I wish you'd be happy for me. I wish you'd be happy for yourself. I wish you'd see, why it's a good thing that I'm here. But the thing is that the world, it wants to talk about the second coming of Jesus, but it doesn't actually want the second coming of Jesus. It doesn't actually want God to be here. Because the world, all it wants to do is be God. The world wants to be God. All the things that they talk about, it's all a bunch of nonsense. People, what they say and what they really mean and what their intentions really are totally different from what you think. I hear it because I hear the demons in them. I hear the babble. The babble and their actions and their words. When they have a conversation, there's a hidden conversation underneath it all. There's more going on there than you hear. I hear it, that's the thing. I see it and I hear it. I see how, I know how evil the world is. I want you to know. I want you to see it. So we can actually do something about it. So, you can understand it and you can explain it to somebody else. I want you to be a witness to me. I want you to witness to me. This is the thing. Jesus said to the disciples, he said, well, if I go around telling people stuff, they're not going to believe me. I need witnesses, right? That's the thing. I need someone who can witness for me. I need someone who can understand me and use their mouth, right? Go and talk to people, tell people. Because that's the thing. If I tell everyone that I'm God, no one wants to believe me. But if someone's a witness for me and says, oh, yeah, this guy's God, then more people will listen because they won't hear it directly from me. They'll hear it from somebody else. So who's going to be number one then? Who's going to be the first person? Who's going to do it? Anybody? How many years have I got to wait? I've been sat here trying to do this for 3, 4 years, 5 years. It's been a long time. I look at a world that wants to see me drop dead. The world wants me to die. And I'm really tired. I'm very, very, very tired. I have so much to do. I have mountains of rubbish I've got to deal with. I've got my entire life to organize. And I'm trying to drag myself away from my computer. I can barely get away from my computer for half an hour. Unless I'm sleeping. I mean, going back to, if I, there was that film, Marnie, which was by Alfred Hitchcock. And, I explained that earlier on. And the thing is that, there's the character played by Sean Connery, who's called Mark, and he's with that woman who keeps changing her name. One time, she's Marnie or she's Marion. She's a thief. That's the thing. She's a thief and a fraudster. And Mark marries her. He catches her in the act of stealing, so he marries her. He forces her to marry him, and he tries to help her. See, that was, Alfred Hitchcock was a Freemason. Yeah, see, Freemasons, they know Mary's an evil bitch. She's a god-hater. She's a thief. She's a fraud. That's why they like her. That's why they worship her. That's why they want to follow after. That's why they work with her. Because they're using her as a way to try to displace me, God. Marnie, the film, that's really what it's describing. That's what it's really about. And that's right. It's sort of the basis for the Arnold Schwarzenegger films. It is sort of the foundation of it's a magical foundation for the Arnold Schwarzenegger films. If you don't believe that, well, how about there's the film Total Recall. Yeah, so the guy, he doesn't remember who he was, right? And that's the thing. When I was born, I didn't know I was good, right? The film Total Recall is about a guy. He's obsessed with having to go to Mars. Mary and Mars, the word's very, very similar. Yeah, and obviously the film Marnie. Yeah, there's a magical connection between those things. Mars is called the red planet. That's the thing. It's a magic thing because obviously, I'm God. I expect you to read or to have read the Bible, right? Understood it. Yeah, that's, do you understand what I'm saying? Red is it's a word. Why do you think you see so many people wear red? When you see Rihanna dressed in red, or Sam Smith dressed in red, or or Madonna dressed in red, or anybody else, what do you think it is? Yeah, red is associated with the devil as well, right? Because that's the thing. It's witchcraft, right? These people are interested in magic power. Look at the record button. Yeah, look at that red dot. Yeah. Record. Yeah. An accident is. It's not an accident. It's not an accident that it's called record. Aaliyah Dana Houghton was an artist. Right? She was a musician. Right? She was a singer. In fact, I think most of her music was written for her actually, but she had records. Yeah, Rihanna has records. Yeah. That's the thing, they're evil people. That's the thing, if you've seen that, if you heard that song by Aaliyah, it's called Try Again. And it's a very complicated thing to understand, but it says, dust yourself off and try again. Well, I have mirrors, they're dusty. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. The world reflects me. She's an evil witch reflecting me. She's trying to use mirror magic. Dust yourself off and try again. It has lots of different meanings. See, it's all there's so much code word. See, someone could say something that sounds very innocent, but their intentions behind it become clear the more you know about that person and why they do the things that they do. They don't, that's the thing. You might hear it and think, well, it sounds kind of innocent. But when you really understand who she really is, you can really hear what it's all about, what it's really about. Lee. Yeah, Mary, Aliyah. You know, she was in the film Romeo Must Die and Queen of the Damned. Well, Romeo is associated with a man, and obviously Mary is associated with Rome, Roman Catholicism. Yeah, so or Romeo must die, and then there's the queen, the female, right? Obviously, my mom was called Fee. She's dead, yeah? Female, yeah, queen of the damned. You know, the reason she was involved with all of that is because she was involved with that's the thing, she's married and she's a child sex predator. Okay, that's what she's all about. She might be, you know, her physical body's dead. Yeah, she died in a plane crash in 2001. But the fact is that the ghosts, the demons exist. I'm God, I'm telling you. They're doing battle against me. And if you are going to be on their side, well, you will get destroyed. Plain and simple.